Hey, everybody, this is Bill from the Bill Heenan team at William Ravish Real Estate. Today is November 17th, 2022, and today I wanted to give my monthly update. I've been trying to do these updates a little bit more often, but we've been pretty busy around here. I wanted to get online here and talk a little bit about what we see going on, and I wanted to take a little bit different of an angle. I really wanted to study the amount of homes that are actually for sale. You know, you hear throughout the national market news that we're spiraling down towards a strong buyer's market and the sellers are really in big trouble, but I don't really find that to be the case, at least here in our local market. And maybe we're more fortunate than a lot of the other states and counties throughout our country, but we are nowhere near a buyer's market at this point. We're not even anywhere near a balanced market at this point. I looked at all the towns that I tend to indulge in, see what their inventory was, and behind me you can see East Lyme, Connecticut. There's 30 houses for sale. Now East Lyme has a population of over 18,000 people. 30 houses for sale. Ledger, Connecticut, 25 houses for sale. Montville, Connecticut, 16 houses for sale. Come over to the Middlesex County, Old Saybrook, Connecticut, 21 houses for sale. Old Saybrook has almost 11,000 people residing in that town. Only 21 houses for sale. Westbrook, Connecticut, 12 houses for sale. Clinton, Connecticut, 14 houses for sale. And Little Chester, Connecticut, with only about 4,000 people in the town, 6 houses for sale. That's still a huge disconnect from how many people live there versus how many homes are for sale. So all these indicators tell me that we are still in a very strong market. And I know that. I mean, we're out there in the business of selling and helping buyers buy real estate on a daily basis. And, the interest rates and the market certainly has shifted. There's no doubt about that. But what I'm here to say is that they have shifted in other parts of the country a lot further than they have shifted in our market. And certainly we have shifted. At one time, we'd have 6 buyers for every house that we listed. Now we have 1 or 2 buyers for every house we listed. At one time, it would take 6 days to sell a house. Now it takes an average of 3 to 4 weeks to sell a house. But 3 to 4 weeks is still an excellent time frame and what we call an excellent absorption rate. So if you're thinking about selling, there's still plenty of time to get that house sold. And this week we had in the national news, actually we didn't have much of it in national news, but this week we experienced a significant reduction in the 30-year home mortgage interest rates. If you were looking at the rates, a week and a half ago, I think the beginning of last week, the rates were above 7 in most cases, 7, 7.25, even sometimes as high as 8 if you didn't have great credit, credit scores above 700. But this week, or in the end of last week, some good economic news came out. Interest rates have started to reduce the inflationary effects that we've been feeling for the last 6 months or so. So they dropped the rates. The investors dropped their rates 3/4 of a point and even a point in some cases. So we are now kind of hovering around a 6.25 interest rate. And if you have good credit and have a couple points that you can pay, you can get them into the 5s. And an interest rate, a 30-year mortgage interest rate in the 5s, upper 5 range is a very, very good interest rate. And so there's a unique opportunity for buyers right now. And if you're a seller and you're thinking, well, it's the middle of November, maybe I'll wait. You could wait, but realize that as those interest rates continue to climb, as the Fed says they are going to make sure they continue to climb until this inflation stops, it's going to start to affect the market further and further. And in the long run, if the rate goes to 7, back up to 7, 7.5, and starts approaching 8 by the beginning of next year, then that ultimately is going to affect your pricing as we move into that early spring market. And think of the winter market as this if you're a seller. There's less competition, and there's less buyers out there kicking the tires. If you're a buyer out there and it's snowing and it's cold and it's raining, you're out there, you're serious. You're out there to buy a house, and there's, half as many sellers on the market. As you can see behind me, there just isn't a lot of inventory. So when buyers do come in the market, they have very few choices. And people have to move. People are accepting jobs here in our local area. They're coming to work for the General Dynamics. They're coming to work on the Navy base. They're coming to work for Pfizer. So in that transfer, they need to find a house, and they have little to choose from. And in the long run, that gets you, Mr. Seller, top dollar. And if you're a buyer, listen, there's rarely not a good time to get your house purchase underway and get into your own home and build some of those wealth points. The appreciation that you'll experience over the next 5 to 7 years is going to be significant. The principal pay down that you'll be paying down on a monthly basis, and then just the overall improvements that you make in order to make that asset better. You'll see some serious appreciation as a result of that. And don't forget your tax savings. If you're a buyer, most buyers forget that there's a significant income tax savings on your primary residence. And, I like to say, listen, if you're not paying your mortgage and you're not paying your principal down, and if you're not taking those tax advantages, then you're paying someone else's mortgage, and they are taking the advantages of the tax savings, and they are taking the advantage of the principal pay down and the appreciation that they'll experience over the next 5-7 years. So once again, it's really a great time to buy. It's still a great time to sell. And if you're looking for any more help or any more information along these lines, feel free to reach out to us or visit us on our website at www.billheenan.net, or you can always call me directly on my cell phone at 860-460-8053. I always look forward to hearing from you. And remember, in today's market, it takes a team to win.